How much information should you receive from public officials about crime and emergencies? That's what this story is about. And to set it up, let's go back to October when I asked Idaho Falls Mayor Rebecca Casper about transparency during an EastIdahoNews.com election forum.
You know, transparency is such a popular concept. It actually refers to how open and understandable and accessible your government is. We have a new and improved website. We participate in apps that help citizens access information. We maintain a wide variety of social media pages. We participate in sending out press releases, sometimes multiple press releases in a single day, just to share with the public what kinds of things are going on.
Casper was proud of the fact that this city sometimes sends out multiple press releases a day. But last month, when the police department sent out multiple press releases about different circumstances, she had a problem with it, according to emails and text messages obtained by EastIdahoNews.com. It was January 22nd. An 11-year-old boy didn't show up to school, so IFPD sent out an alert at 9:30 a.m., and the child was found at Walmart a short time later. At 10:30 a.m., another news release from the PD about Jed Hall, a distraught teenager who left his home with firearms. Police didn't believe Hall was a danger to others, but Westside schools were locked down as a precaution. Unfortunately, Jed is still missing. Several hours later, on the same day, the police department sent one more release about slick roads, asking drivers to use caution after 15 crashes happened. The next day, emails obtained through a public records request show Casper emailed Police Chief Johnson, "I have some mild concern about all of the news out of the department yesterday, the multiple press releases on the child who was missing for a few hours, and the multiple releases about the vehicle that also caused schools to shelter in place cumulatively made an impression on residents. I worry about the anxiety level." And this was capped off by another release urging residents to stay home because of poor weather, slick roads. I am all for informing residents when warranted, but we may need to look at thresholds. Too much sharing of troublesome info can become its own problem. Troublesome information, 2 missing children, 1 who is still missing, and 15 crashes? In the email, the mayor requests a meeting with Johnson, and he agreed. But a few hours later, an Idaho Falls police officer shoots and kills Shane McVeigh after investigators say he ran from them and held up a weapon. Johnson was on the scene.
The suspect
So was Public Information Officer Holly Cook, who provided timely information to EastIdahoNews.com and other media. A news release went out, and then the mayor emailed Johnson and Cook. I would prefer that we message minimally on this story from here on out. It appears that we've already put out 2 news flashes on this, and that should be enough for today. I'm anxious that we convey a sense of order. That this is being turned over to ISP is enough. Pumping out 7 or more news releases and a press conference within 48 hours is a lot. I never want to convey a sense of disorder in our community, and a barrage of messages may start to do that. Cook responded, I've only submitted 1 news release, so I'm not sure to what you're referring. All I have done today is facilitate media interviews, put out 1 news flash and press release. I've also put out 2 tweets regarding traffic in the area. The mayor also sent this text message to Johnson. After the wild day we had yesterday, my sense is that whatever you do to tone things down and convey a sense of order will be very important. Johnson responds, yes, we will still need to talk about yesterday. There are compelling safety reasons why we talked about all 3 of the events. 2 hours later, a drive-by shooting was reported to police, and Johnson sent this text message to the mayor. When you can, please give me a call. We have had a drive-by shooting this evening, and we'll need to get some info out on that. Information was never sent to media outlets about the shooting, and the next morning at 5:05 a.m., Johnson sent this message to Casper. Sorry, but there's more. There were 2 armed robberies early this morning. The same suspect did both robberies. We were able to identify and apprehend the robber, so he is in custody. We will need to put information out on this as well. Casper responds, wow, if we have apprehended the suspect, why do we need to put information out right away? Can't this just be part of the daily summary? I'm not opposed to sharing information, it is just that not each and every incident merits its own press release. Johnson writes back, armed robbery is one of the most serious person crimes that there is. It is just a step below murder or aggravated sexual assault. Having 2 committed in short order is even more serious. That the robberies occurred will already be out there in the rumor mill and social media. It is important to get the accurate information out, especially that the suspect is in custody, so there is no ongoing threat to the community. Casper responds, "If there is no immediate threat to the public, the report can wait until we put out the summary of daily activity." Johnson says, "I will do what you ask, but I think we do need to talk. The one way to ensure that crime happens is to not be aware of it. The entire philosophy of community-oriented policing is that crime is a community problem, and the community and police have to work together to solve it. That can't happen if the community doesn't know the reality of what occurs." And Casper responds, "For the most part, I agree. I am not suggesting that we do not share the news. I just believe that we can limit our press releases to a single summary notice each day. We can deviate from that when immediate public safety is threatened." The Idaho Falls Police Department never sent anything out on the armed robberies, but the Bonneville County Sheriff's Office did. Both agencies were involved in the investigation, and police spokeswoman Holly Cook tells me the Sheriff's Office offered to do the release because the IFPD was so busy. A few days later, the mayor met with Johnson, Cook, and other city public information officers. Then, on February 5th, Johnson went before the city council and explained the police department media policy. That's when I caught up with him and Mayor Casper. Is there anything that you want to clear up?
Well, no, because to me, there's no story there. I had questions, I asked questions, got answers to questions, and we move forward.
Do you understand how the public might think, well, this is kind of alarming? Why wouldn't the mayor pick up the phone and call the chief and say, what's going on here?
In fact, we did. We had multiple phone calls. We exchanged a couple of emails. The email served to in one case, lead to the phone call that led to the meeting. We had lots of communication, as is appropriate between a supervisor and a supervisee. There was one message over on one message that went out that I received about 8 different notifications. That seemed at the time overwhelming, and it was like, that's when I hopped on and sent an email saying, "Are we? What's going on? Why is there so much going out?"
You're fine. They don't have to run news releases by you.
No, I don't have time to. Once in a while, I'll work with a news release just to add my quote or to do an edit for grammar.
If it concerns your department, but as far as police,
we have a
breaking
PIO
news.
for that department that works with the chief, and they do that work.
What do you take of the mayor's questioning, and are you guys on the same page now?
Yeah, and I think we always were on the same page. She loves her city. I love the city too. I'm kind of new here though, right? I've been here about 5 months. And so, you want to build that over time. Unfortunately, we had everything kind of happen right there at once, and so we had to do some stuff right on the fly. She's my boss, and that's the way it's designed, right? She's answerable to the people, I'm answerable to her. But as we talked through everything, that she understood exactly what I was trying to say. And so I learned a long time ago that the public's going to find out what you're doing eventually, no matter what you do, right? I'm a public servant. This is a public organization. It's going to become public knowledge. And so, our philosophy is to just be upfront and honest and say, here's what we're up to, here's what's happening, and get as much information out as quickly as we can.
Johnson and Casper say the communication issue has been resolved. And Johnson says he does not want an adversarial relationship with the media or the public. The chief says he is committed to releasing information, even if it means more than one news release on certain days. Reporting in Idaho Falls, I'm Nate Eaton, EastIdahoNews.com.